Take a look at the tail of the tape for this one. Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧, 30 years of age. Florim Zendeli is 27. Zendeli has an inch on 𝗘𝗏𝗧 in height, but a 3-inch reach advantage. 3 5-minute rounds here in the welterweight division. Both of these guys looking to emerge from the regional scene, make a name for themselves on the PFL global stage. No better place to do it than here at Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai.
Against 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗧, the short-range power I was talking about, that was a single leg, and he just hammer-fisted him right on the temple, out. Dropped him to both hands, fight was over. Not a lot of guys can generate that kind of stopping ability from that distance. Dafrawy can.
Open stances here. Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧, southpaw. Zendeli in the dark trunks is standing orthodox. Good aggressive start here for Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧, getting his legs going with the kicks. Zendeli wants this on the ground early. Nice dirty boxing as 𝗘𝗏𝗧 was able to retreat. Zendeli hit him with an uppercut.
Both guys face Daniel Michelli. Both guys winning. In the case of Zendeli, it was a rear naked choke, but he had him in this kind of awkward half-mount position, long legs, good hip pressure. Though Michelli had no choice but to turn his back. He had to, endure some power punches before that. Once he had good position, great finishing instincts.
Good check hook there from Zendeli. The high kick slapped off the face.
Right here. He scored a knockout from there before. Good job getting back to his feet.
Body lock there for Zendeli. Important work by Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧 to dig that underhook.
Yeah, because it looked like he was going down, able to get his balance back under him.
There's moments in these fights where you see what could happen later.
Good outside trip.
Zendeli felt that high kick, the shin didn't hit him. It wasn't the instep necessarily. It was kind of the toes for Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧. And I think he rethought his standing situation, brings this one to the ground.
As though that hip pressure of Zendeli becomes a factor in half guard. Good pressure on him, a good job from Dafrawy, pushing off, getting space to stand up again. Nice
hand landed. Tried it again, now they're swinging. Zendeli retreating, wow.
That was far on the outside.
Stepped way back and shot from a distance.
I was briefly thinking modified guillotine from there, but thought better of it.
Left knee rises up and drives into the ribs of Florim Zendeli.
Yeah, you see the strategy of Zendeli is kind of wear Dafrawy down. He respects that power, he respects the explosiveness. Get in there and make this kind of a grinding fight. Dafrawy's he's deadly from this outside position.
Chopping right hand after the overhand left was blocked. Now Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧 crashes in. Cut. Immediately, big cut right on the eyebrow. Shouldn't be something that stops the fight, but that blood is always something to think about. And certainly gives the judges a point to judge on. .90 seconds remaining here in round number 1. Good sprawl from Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗧.
Yep.
Heavy hips. Able to stay on his feet for now. Florim Zendeli continues the forward pressure and a squeeze with this underhook.
Another outside trip takedown, yep.
Omar from 𝗘𝗏𝗧 with the elbows from his back. Now, Jimmy, the calculus on those strikes from your back is a lot different when there's a visible large cut on an opponent.
Now, when there's something to work, something you can open up. It's exactly what Dafrawy wants to target. Also, let's see if it makes Zendeli a little bit busier with his ground and pound. A lot of times it gives the fighters a sense of urgency as soon as they get cut. Even if, to your point, it's not a fight-stopping kind of cut. You want to get that one back. Zendeli wants to be busy on top.
There's There's also the practical question of how slippery do you get when the blood is involved. It's already bad enough with sweat. And Omar 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑's having to wipe Florim Zendeli's blood out of his own eyes.
We've all had to do it at some point. Dafrawy, though, did win his last fight by triangle. Does have a good ground game. 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑 tried to slam his way out of it. It was not happening.
End of round one. Florim Zendeli on top. Cutman did a great job stopping the bleeding for now on Florim Zendeli's cut. Omar 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑 will try to open another. Straight left hand to the body. Open stances sometimes do result in a cup check.
Also, that cut is leaking like a faucet now. As soon as the round started, you saw that the bleeding continue.
Take a look at the replay here.
Well, there it is. Push kick right to the cup. And 5 minutes to recover. And one thing when you're in the corner that you tell your guys, don't let the crowd speed you up. You don't start till you're ready. It takes 5 minutes, you take 5 minutes.
Coach. Stand there for me, please.
Omar 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑 back to his feet. Crowd here at Coca-Cola Arena likes what they see.
Listen, I know it's accidental, but you need to pick your shots correctly, okay? And I need you to be careful with those fingers, okay? Please, so just be careful with it. Thank you.
Referee with proper instruction to Florim Zendeli acknowledges that it was obviously inadvertent, an accidental blow, but to be careful about shot selection moving forward.
Tell me when you're ready. It's accidental shot, you go through the kick. It was accidental shot. It was accidental shot. You can tell me, I know you can tell me about the accidental shot, I saw it. You've got your time, you tell me when you're ready to go.
Jimmy, we're getting into long stoppage kind of time where whatever momentum there may or may not have been at the end of that first round and carrying into the second, now it's a different moment in the fight.
It's almost like a restart, not even just of the round, but sometimes of the fight, but you have a cut there that's not going to get better as he's standing there. So one thing was, as soon as Zendeli started fighting, the blood started flowing again.
Yeah?
Okay. You felt
kick. Timekeeper, tie back in, please.
Feel some pressure to start again, but it looks like it's still bothering him.
Aggression here on the restart from Omar 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑. Zendeli goes right back to the push kick.
Good level change to the takedown. Easy takedown.
Pushed all the way through.
It's one of those things where if you have a
the back door goes Omar
too high.
𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗑.
Yep. Got too high in the ride.
Omar
nice
tried the high kick. Zendeli forward motion kind of confounded that distance. Outside trip again. Zendeli has been so successful with that.
If someone has a takedown, that you want to at least make them go to that second and third effort, right? Make the second, third takedown be the one that gets him, so he spends a lot of energy. But Zendeli able to get 2 takedowns in a row without a whole lot of expenditure of effort. It's not good if you're Dafrawy.
Trying this triangle setup.
That's wrist control meets triangle setup. Stepping over the head. Zendeli, though, angling heavily on that side. It's going to pull that right arm out, make the triangle useless. That's exactly what happened. Into side control.
That blood might be lubricating things too much for any submission to be held on to at this moment.
But I've seen him make guillotines easier. Sometimes the guillotine slides in when someone's bloody, but Dafrawy hasn't gone for any of those.
Zendeli trying his own elbows from the top position now. Pummeling downward.
Good stuff from Zendeli, bringing that physical pressure.
Left elbow now from Zendeli. Half a round to work.
Problem is, against the fence, it's so hard to get the pressure to create a scramble, to get the distance. You know, you got to push off the hips, get space, and explode back to the feet, but that can be difficult from here.
Well, one thing's for sure, if Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗣𝗑𝗢 wants to get up, he's going to have to open his guard first. But of course, you're making a tough choice because he's trying to control the posture of Florim Zendeli, so this ground and pound isn't too powerful. Little Jackson Pollock on the canvas here.
Please, gents. I need to see some progress.
Now, referee's starting to get impatient here. Zendeli's got to turn it up if he wants to stay on top.
And that cut is really leaking.
Now, from this position, you might not know it's Zendeli. He's the one that's bleeding, even though he's been completely controlling this round.
Well, half Nelson here for Florim Zendeli.
No, clean. Take your shots, it's fine. You turn your head.
This is how he escaped last time. High in the ride, does it again.
And now he makes the same mistake. Tries to take the back, gets too high. And out the back door goes Florim Zendeli.
2 positional mistakes in a row.
Third time might be the charm here.
Yeah, it's always easier to pull an opponent toward you than it is to step up and take the back. Zendeli choosing that option this time. Now both hooks in.
Get your fingers out the gloves, Omar. Omar, get the fingers out the gloves.
You look through the cage behind where these two are fighting, you'll see those
Pick your shots. Pick your
PFL
shots.
belts, which will be contested in our co-main and main event later tonight. Florim
Omar, don't put
Zendeli
your
trying to
fingers
sneak
in the
the arm
gloves.
underneath the chin.
Get your
Couldn't get
fingers
his
out the
left
gloves.
arm free in time
Get your fingers out the gloves.
to really
Florim.
lock it up.
It's fine, that's wrist control. Let's got your wrist control. He's holding your wrist, absolutely fine. Get your fingers out the gloves.
One more attempt at that rear naked.
Zendeli totally in control in this round 2. Dafrawy trying to make something out of the cut, but cannot give up this ground position in round 3, or this is going to be a walkover.
Final few seconds of round number 2. Third frame coming up.
Was in bad position throughout round number 2. Cannot afford a repeat in round 3.
You ready?
Everything to play for potentially here in round 3. Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗑𝗢𝗑 opened that big cut in round 1. It was the most significant moment of the fight to that point. Zendeli threatened on the back for much of round number 2. Omar 𝗘𝗏𝗑𝗢𝗑𝗢, a rising star from the PFL Middle Eastern scene. Florim Zendeli took PFL Europe by storm at 170 pounds. And both guys came in tonight with the stated and clear goal of wanting to make a case for themselves as part of PFL's bigger plans here in the division.
Nice duck under. Beautiful timing on that. It was a miss, but Zendeli also changed his level right on time to slip that punch and go for the double leg.
The miscalculation here might have been to drive all the way to the fence instead of just pulling the legs out from under him out in the distance. But Zendeli has had a lot of success with the trips. Good work by Omar
Once again,
𝗘𝗏𝗑𝗢𝗑.
slipping the punch to get in good takedown position.
You see this when fighters get tired. Omar's trying to throw everything big right now. He's trying to make everything count, maybe a little too much, throwing himself out of position, telegraphing some of these strikes.
Leads to an easy takedown right into the guard pass. What you try to teach, Sean, is when you get tired, jabs there. Right? The easier strikes that don't require so much energy, those are the ones you rely on. As we said, so many fighters go to the big punches.
Left hand. And now Zendeli hunting for this low single. Good work by Omar. Another huge left hand. And he'll try to initiate a trip. Now you hear the 𝗟𝗘𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘 corner calling for the jab. He timed a knee instead.
Actually pulled him right on top of him in a mount.
Big sacrifice throw attempt for Zendeli. Does not pay off. And look at this for Omar 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗣𝗘. He's got the the left arm isolated, wrist control. Big elbow.
Working the cut.
Nasty work from the top. Omar's getting a little too high. The roll through from Florim Zendeli puts him into top position.
Another tactical mistake.
Jimmy, I think that one was related just as much to fatigue as any kind of strategical mistake.
Zendeli is leaking like a faucet right now. If he had landed a couple more elbows, that could have been a fight-stopping cut, but now Zendeli exactly where he wants to be, but once again, a little high in the ride.
Omar's gonna have to get onto his feet and elevate his own hips if he wants to shake Zendeli out of the tree.
It's a similar position where he got 𝗟𝗏𝗧𝗏. It was kind of like a half back mount, half mount position with those long legs. Dafrawy has to stay out of that position.
Can't help but think that Omar 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗣𝗘 is steeling himself for one final push here as his corner calls for urgency.
Stack up on him! Stack up on him!
A bloody fight, if nothing else, you can see from the canvas. Zendeli's in the position you want to be late in a fight and you're exhausted. That is on the back.
Can Omar 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗣𝗘 get himself out of this tangle with 1 minute left as Florim Zendeli hammers away with the right hand and now the left?
Zendeli, who's been cut since round number 1. He showed a lot of guts in this fight, a lot of tenacity fighting through that. He's been technically and tactically better, especially when it has come to the ground game and the takedown.
Come on, 30 ثانية 30 ثانية 30 ثانية shake 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 shake.
Solo whip stretch potentially for Florim Zendeli.
Going for it, pulling hard on the leg. Couldn't hold on to it. But it forced 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗘 out of position.
A grueling fight at 170 pounds, as evidenced by the paint on the canvas. The Zendeli corner thinks they've done enough. Omar 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗘 might not have enough energy to raise his arms.
All three judges have scored the card 29-28, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Florim Zendeli!
Florim Zendeli, despite the bad cut in round 1, finds a way here in Dubai.
Takedown, good tenacity with the takedown. Good timing on his defense. This is the elbow that opened up the cut in round number 1. I didn't think it was in fight stop, but it is big. Not in fight stopping position, but a lot of blood. Round number 2, here's their groin shot. Took a couple minutes for Dafrawy to come back from that one, but this is what won him the fight. Zendeli with the ground and pound. Round 3, we saw the back take, the takedown, the hip pressure, finished right where he wanted to be at the end of the fight. Great stuff on the ground.